Supergirl number 22, written by Michael Allen Nelson, art by Diogenes Nevis. Last issue, we had Supergirl landing on a cyborg alien planet sort of thing that is able to recreate things from her memory, and then a cyborg looking Superman showed up and said, "Hey, Kara, we need to talk." So this issue picks up where she's like, "Jesus Christ, Cal, what happened to you?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm not Cal. I'm not a clone. I'm none of those things. I have nothing to do with this planet either. I'm totally separate. My technology fused with my body, and I'm something different." And Supergirl says, and I quote, "So you're some kind of cyborg Superman?" And I just want to end the review there, but I'm going to continue. And she's like, "Yeah, sure. I guess that's what you can call me." And she's like, "Something about you seems familiar. Like, you kind of, I mean, obviously you're wearing my family crest, which is its own thing. I don't know what that's about, but like, also you look a little bit like, my cousin or maybe his dad. I don't know, something like that." And he's just like, "Yeah, no, the symbol like says I'm Kryptonian, but I can't remember anything. And I'm really hoping that you could help." And she's like, "How do I do that?" And he explains, "Look, you are able to make these memories about Krypton. You can do that using the planet of Inoxia." I'm never going to remember that. "And I just want you to continue to like basically using it to spark enough that maybe it'll spark one of my memories and I can remember where I came from." And Supergirl's like, "Okay, how much do we need?" And the Delacour, the guy running the planet's like, "Oh, we could like recreate all of Krypton. Like we could do that. If you want to, we could easily do that." And he's like, "Please, yes, help me." And she's like, "But none of this would be real." And he's like, "Yeah, no, well, clearly, but like the memory of it, like just to help me, like, could we at least give it a try?" And she's like, "I don't know, but it would take me forever to describe it, even if I wanted to." And he's just like, "Oh no, like, we just start small. Just like, how about this? Describe the house you grew up in." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she starts to describe like little memories she had about the house, and then boom, there it is. It just appears in front of her, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's perfect. It's every look. There's a stain on the floor from my dad's experiments, and it even smells like the flowers my mother had. That's incredible." And as she's walking around, Cyborg Superman turns to Delacour and is just like, "Look, I don't want to have to risk killing her, so you have to convince her to do this, okay?" And just like, "Okay, but are you going to eventually tell her who made you?" And then we see Supergirl come up and being like, "Oh my god, this is amazing. Thank you so much." And he's like, "Oh, that's not all. I got something special. You know how you've been verbally describing all your stuff? We don't need to do that anymore for some reason. Here's a little headpiece. You put this on, and it's going to be very painful, but it's going to make it a lot easier." And she's like, "Okay." And so she puts it on, and it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. It's definitely not hurting her. And he takes off. She's like, "There you go, all done." She's like, "I thought you said it'd be painful." And he's like, "Oh no, the experience is going to be painful." And he points over across the room, and we see that through her tear-filled eyes, Kara's mom has been, quote unquote, regenerated from the planet. And she's like, "Oh my god, this is messed up. No, this isn't right. She's dead, man. Why are you doing this to me?" And the mom explains like, "Okay, yeah, no, I'm just a memory. I'm definitely not your real mom, but like, you can still give me a hug." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I could do that." So she goes up, gives mom a hug, and we see Delacour starting to transform into Zor-El, but then he looks over at Cyborg Superman and he's like, stops. And he like stops talking, and Cyborg Superman's like, What's going on?" And he's just like, "Never mind. That seems like a bad idea. We shouldn't overwhelm her with other stuff." And he's like, "Okay." So we then look outside the window and we see other Kryptonians have started to form, a whole bunch of other different members. One of which looks definitely like Hell, but they don't reference it as such. So I guess it's not. But regardless, Cyborg Superman's like, "Oh yeah, no, you take after your mother. She's a beautiful woman." And then he's like, "Yeah. So here's the thing. If you like this, you can stay here forever. You can be like with your family and friends and whatnot. You've got all the time in the world here." And she's like, "Oh, guess I should mention that. I have kryptonite poisoning and I'm dying, and so I'm not going to be here for a while." But then she realizes like okay, but maybe that's a good thing. Like, I spend my final days surrounded by people that I know and love. Like, this is worse ways to go out. I don't know. Maybe not, I'll consider it. And so we see Kara's mother is just like, oh, yes, come, let's go down to the garden. And she starts to fly. And Kara's like, actually, we couldn't fly on Krypton. Actually. And it's like, oh, right, sorry, my bad. So they walk down to the gardens. And we see Cyborg Superman's like, oh my God, that's perfect. She's dying. She'll definitely go ahead with my plan. But then a voice inside his head with a green colored text box that's definitely not Brainiac, certainly not Brainiac, says, no, this is a rare opportunity. We have to study like kryptonite poisoning. We're not able to do that anymore. He's like, I'm not gonna I have plans for her. And we see Brainiac start to argue, and then he's just like, nope, screw that. I'm not doing it. I'm done waiting. So Cyborg Superman flies in front of him and just like, hey, okay, here's the thing. I have something that can cure your kryptonite poisoning. And she's like, wait, really? That seems awfully convenient. And it's like, yeah, no, I mean, I don't actually know a cure, but I know something that will make it unnecessary to even worry about it. It's like, okay, what do you got? And he says, okay, become one with the planet. What we're thinking is you upload your consciousness to the planet. You'll be totally in with all the other Nerexians. That's not the right term. But he's like, yeah, no, just do that. And she's like, okay, but like that mean I kind of die, right? He's like, no. Sure, your body would be a husk. And that's where it works out for me because I need a new body of Kryptonian flesh in order to substitute my own. And she's like, I'm sorry, you want to use my body for your own? And he's like, yes, but not in a creepy way. I just want to tear off your flesh and use it for my own. But okay, maybe a bit of a creepy way. So she's like kind of shutting him down, and he starts going full on like, you don't understand. I've been through hell. You will make me whole again. And she's like, oh no, you're another crazy guy. I'm gonna go. Goodbye, everyone. And she flies off. And he's like, no, wait, hold on. I didn't mean it. And he starts chasing her down. And she's just like, every time a Kryptonian promises me the return of Krypton, I always have some crazy thing afterwards. I gotta stop falling into this. So she gets into a mild fight with Cyborg Superman, actually manages to get the upper hand for a little bit. But then we see Delacour's watching the fight scene and is like, okay, Inoxia, we need her alive. She doesn't have to be conscious, but don't kill her. And so all of the Inoxians turn into memories that Kara has of her being pissed off. So all these fake Supergirls come flying in, rage-filled, and come after her. And Cyborg Superman's like, "Mahaha, now you'll understand that you're your own worst enemy." And Supergirl's like, oh, you want to see me angry? You want to see me pissed off? You haven't even seen me pissed off. And so she starts just blasting through all these fake Supergirls. And she's like, my parents are dead. My planet's destroyed. Everything I know about is gone forever. And on a world of primitive apes, they only shoot at me. Everything sucks. So she continues to fight them. Cyborg Superman throws like an energy blast at her, which pisses her off enough that she just lets rip with a heat vision, tears through the fake Supergirls, and just starts flying away. And Cyborg Superman's like, yo, you can run, but you can't hide. I'm going to follow you and get what I need. And she's like, I'm not running. And she makes her way over to her bike, swings it at Cyborg Superman to make some distance, and then turns the thrusters on full, just burying him in a heat of fire. And he's just like, you have no idea what I'm capable of. And so she hops on her bike and starts to fly out the atmosphere. The Cyborg Superman's like, Delacour, don't let her get away. And he's like, yep, right on it, boss. So he then proceeds to send all of her memories that she has over at Supergirl. And turns out it's just the whole Justice League and everyone she's ever met in her entire book. So they're all coming after her. I like it. I got a genuine eye roll from me in that first page where it's like, you're telling me we're some kind of cyborg Superman? Like, that was so dumb. But as the issue progressed, it really I liked the fact that Supergirl was just like, oh no, not this again. And just bailed. Like, she's not even entertaining the idea of like, well, maybe if it's for a good enough reason. Like, no, you're definitely crazy. Goodbye. I love that. Art wise, looks great. There's a couple just like pure expression panels in this book where it's just reaction shots to things that Cyborg Superman was saying. Super great. Very expressive. I just enjoyed it. I think it was a real fun read the whole way through. So overall, I'm going to give this one an 8. I really do like it. And I don't know specifically how this arc is going to go. I do think that that Supergirl has a Cyborg Superman like tie-in issue once we get into Villains Month, which by the way is only like 2 months away. So we'll see if that has anything to do with this arc, but otherwise I'm down for it in general. It seems like a fun little story.